It's Tuesday morning, and Ray Green, an athletic coach from Yorba Linda, is headed to Huntington Beach. It's his first day coaching a summer camp for a local school.
Okay, so let's go ahead and bow our heads. So we're getting them out here early, summertime, getting them out of the beds and, getting them off the laptops and the iPads and the computers and getting them out here to get some exercise and get their minds and their bodies prepared for the upcoming season.
Are we ready?
Yeah!
All right, here we go. We'll see what it is. Okay, we got 10 walking lunges.
But today is about more than just sports. He's been invited to give a speech about the importance of diversity.
When we come together and we play sports, the one thing I love about it is, doesn't matter what you look like, doesn't matter what your background is, doesn't matter if you're rich, doesn't matter if you're poor, doesn't matter if you come from a low-income household, doesn't matter if you live in the hills. All that matters is when you get out here, what are you doing?
Since the death of George Floyd, Ray has been invited to give a lot of these speeches. Living in Orange County, he's often the only black guy around. He knows people mean well, but still, he's cautious about which offers to accept and which ones to avoid.
One of the tricky parts about it, right? You want to make a difference. You want to get out there and show that whatever some of these kids may have been taught, that's not who we are. But you also don't want to be used as a token, right? Okay, guys, awesome job today. I want you guys to give yourselves a round of applause for what we've seen out here today.
Back in Yorba Linda, police officer Scott Willey, Ray's best friend, is getting ready for his shift at Cal State Fullerton PD. He loves his job as much today as he did 23 years ago when he was just a rookie. He's not a religious man, but each morning on his way to work, he says a little prayer.
Just reaching out to the angels out there that protect us.
Ray and Scott have been friends for over a decade, ever since Ray moved into Scott's old neighborhood. But in the last few weeks, both men have seen a seismic shift in their worlds.
When I saw that cop kneeling on that poor man with his hands in his pockets and just that smug look on his face, it was the first time that I realized what Black Lives Matter meant.
He believes all 4 officers involved in the killing of George Floyd should stand trial for what happened.
That can't be allowed, and I think that one moment changed a lot of what we're going to be seeing in law enforcement.
The first change Scott made was to improve himself.
Let me begin with a quote by Marcus Garvey.
Signing up for an online African American history course at Yale University.
I started learning about Juneteenth and Tulsa, Oklahoma, which I didn't know anything about the massacre that happened there, and I don't know why that wasn't taught to me.
In the last few weeks, Ray has gone through an education of his own about where he lives and what he's given up to be there. He moved to Yorba Linda, a predominantly white suburb in the OC, mainly to provide better opportunities for his daughters. Now he's realizing what he's given up.
It's a beautiful place to live. It's a nice area. It's quiet. And like I said, the school districts are great. But you have a concern that there's no one else around that looks like them.
Ray and Scott don't agree on everything. Scott, for example, believes cases of police brutality against black people are emblematic of a few bad apples, not a systemic problem within law enforcement.
We're kind of making that assumption that we're all white cops, and that's not true. There's diversity within police departments as well.
On this one point, they agree to disagree.
I don't believe in the few bad apple thing, but I've been around long enough and I've seen enough to know that there are areas in this country where there's systemic racism, and it starts from the top and it goes all the way down to the bottom. I'm glad to have friends in my life that I can call about these things and have conversations with.
Coming up, the Greens and the Willies come together for the first time since the start of the pandemic and the death of George Floyd.
It's like when something happens to a black person, there's always an excuse behind it.
I look at my department like we've been defunded for a long time. Well, we need more money.